Have you ever wondered why you feel stuck in life? Why every year feels the same despite you wanting to change it and you don't know why, or maybe you do know why, but you don't know how to change it. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how your disobedience through maybe your thoughts, your actions might be keeping you stuck and in that cycle that you feel like you need to escape. Genesis 4:2-7, it says, when they grew up, Abel became a shepherd while Cain cultivated the ground. When it was time for the harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord. Abel also brought a gift, the best portion of the firstborn lambs from his flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his gift, but he did not accept Cain and his gift. This made Cain very angry and he looked dejected. Why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right, but if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master. So it highlights that Abel brought a gift, and it specifically highlights that he brought the best version of his gift of the firstborn lambs of his flock, and God accepted that. But he did not accept Cain's. Cain brought something, but it didn't highlight the same way he did for Abel, that he took his time to give his best. So the reason I'm bringing that out is basically like there's some times where we do things that are not, let me get this out. We do things that are not, we don't give our best in certain situations. We get frustrated with the outcome, and then we don't understand why we didn't get the outcome we wanted without reflecting that, hey, what happened to us is as a result of this. Because if you look at 7, it says, God was like, why are you so angry? Like, bro, why are you angry? Why do you look upset? Like, if you do what is, if you will be accepted if you do what is right. Meaning, if you do what you're supposed to do, then you would be chilling right now. So an easy way for me to break it down is, let's say as an athlete now, you have a goal to grow your arms. Remember we were at the gym and you were like, okay, Faye, you need to work out. You need to do this exercise. And there were times where I would want to like give out. Like my arms were giving out. And you'd be like, nah, bro, you want those big arms, right? Keep going. So basically that's saying it's like, if you want a specific outcome, you have to do this. But if you don't do it and your arms don't grow, and who am I going to blame? I'm only going to be able to look at myself.
You blame yourself at the end of the day. You can't blame anybody else. Because again, at the end of the day, it's up to you it's all a mental game, right? If you choose to give up, and this is just talking like just theoretically, if you give up on anything, that's your choice. No one told you to give up, right? If you choose to go after something, you don't let what other people tell you affect what your choice is, what you want to go after. So when it came to the example you gave, the working out, giving out, like your arms giving out, the thing is your arm didn't actually give out. You gave out mentally before your actual physical being gave out. So when you heard someone say, keep going, right, keep going, you were able to break that mental barrier and keep going. Right. And so when it comes to this, I think you can't blame God for your actions. Right, God, you can only thank God for the good. You don't blame God for the bad, because the thing is, I believe, in my opinion, this is my opinion alone, that all good comes from God, right? All bad, everything after that is on you, right? Whatever you choose to do on your day-to-day life, we have free will. That's to you. That's up to you, right? If I get hurt, I'm not gonna blame God, right? If I go and spend recklessly, and financially I'm going downhill, I can't blame God for that. I'm like, well, God, why me? That was your choice, right? But if he gives you ways of getting out of that debt, bringing people into your life, you have to be able to open your eyes and see that for what it is. If you choose not to open your eyes and look and see it, that's on you, in my opinion. So
and I think the way you explained it is so perfect in the sense that it will be on you, because I look at my own life situation, because anytime I'm reading the Bible like this, I break it down. I'm like, okay, how does what happened to Cain, how does this apply to situations in my life? And there were like 3 different areas where I could see this. It's like, okay, as an athlete, if I don't eat what I want to eat, if I don't eat healthy, I am not able to play to my best ability on the soccer field, and I hate that feeling. But then I can't be upset like the Bible is saying. Why would you be upset? But when I do eat healthy and I'm able to participate in my team winning and I'm able to play at my best, it's like, okay, like there's no reason for me. If I do what is right, you would be smiling right now. But if you don't do what is right, then watch out. Sin is waiting literally to just pounce on you. Another area is in terms of your faith and spirituality. One of the hardest like struggles, especially as guys that struggle, is with lust. Things like lust. I can't count how many times like lustful situations have put me in a situation where I wake up the next day and I'm like, bro, like why? Right, and I actually want to tie it into a specific scripture in Romans 6:21. It's like, what benefit did you reap at the time from the things you are now ashamed of? Those results lead to death. Right, so it's basically saying, bro, what was the point of doing the things that you know are gonna make you feel bad or make you upset at yourself in the future? They lead to unfruitfulness, to death, not being productive. So just like how it applies to in terms of fitness, doing the things that you know are going to be unfruitful, why do those things? And the same thing applies to the spiritual life. It's like in certain situations you're like, maybe I should go home earlier today. Like I can't count how many times that has happened to me where I'm like, okay, I can probably go home earlier, but I stay a little bit longer than I'm supposed to, and then I find myself in situations where I'm not supposed to be in. And literally every time I don't listen to that voice that's like, nah, Faye, like go home, something bad always happens, right? So I feel like every time as like we know as guys, we all have those situations in life where we know there are things that we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do them. We don't do them, and then something bad happens and then we're upset. Kind of like how Cain's reaction was. You wanted to say something like...
No, I was going to say, like, I agree with what you're saying. That voice, I've heard it before, and there's been times in my life where it's been loud, right? Like you really, it's so weird. It's like an obvious voice that you need to listen to. It's not you talking to yourself. Yeah. You can tell there's a difference in you talking to yourself and the voice in your head. That voice, as some people put it, is the Holy Spirit, right? Yeah. That's the Holy Spirit trying to protect you and tell you don't do this, right? This is sin. This is going to lead you down the wrong path. Don't do this. Yeah. But as some people have said before, the soul is willing, but the flesh is weak. Right? The flesh is going to be weak, but the thing is, it's a mental battle. It's a spiritual battle at the end of the day, to better put it. Yeah. Because if you really listen to that voice, at least 75% of the time, you will notice that you're actually going to go in that path that you're looking for. Yeah. But if you decide to ignore it, you're just going to keep repeating, and you're going to see these patterns constantly coming back around. It's going to be a whole loop. Yeah. It's a test. Yeah, the more you fail that test, it comes back again and again. Yes. And I've failed tests countless times. Yeah. More times than I can imagine, right? But there was a thing that you said one time, not that long ago. Like we were in the car. You said a man can fail, but it's all about how you get it. Like a man can fail 7 times.
A righteous man falls 7 times and rises up 8 times.
Mm-hmm. And that once you said that, it was like, wow. Like I haven't heard that saying ever. Yeah. And so to hear that, it makes sense, because if you're willing to fight, not someone who just keeps on going back and repeating the same thing and be like, okay, I fell, but I'm gonna keep trying again. Yeah. But you keep on purposely doing it. Yeah. You're not trying. Yeah. You're just, you know what you're doing. But if you're failing, and you know, okay, I slipped this one time, I'm gonna keep trying, and you keep going long periods without going and failing or falling back into those old temptations or those old patterns, and then you fall again. Yeah, it's still consistent. At least it's consistency enough, right? And so, in my opinion, that's at least what I see it as.
I think what you're saying, that ties perfectly into the cycle that I was talking about, in the sense that when things happen, it's like when you do stuff that you're like, you know, it's gonna talk out your confidence, it makes you feel bad. Like when you do the things you know you're not supposed to do, it makes you feel bad. And how the cycle continues is, I feel bad, but I want to feel good. So I'm going to do the same thing that gives me that instant gratification that I know is going to make me feel good, but then it'll make me feel bad again. So that's where that cycle comes in. You just keep going back and forth, doing the same thing, going around the same loop. And so, like you said, it's mental, because the next part of how I was going to, in terms of what I want to talk about, is how you break it. And I discovered that it's through obedience, but it's not just like that. In order to become more obedient, at least in my life, you have to have a desire for something bigger. So kind of tying it back to when we were working out, it's like, if my desire is to grow my arms, if my desire is to have more cardio to play soccer, what am I going to do? I'm going to, anytime I'm faced with things that kind of want to move me away from that direction, I'm going to be like, nah, bro, I want these bigger arms. Let's keep going. Do that extra rep. Or nah, bro, I'm not going to eat pizza. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to maintain my cardio. The same thing applies to your spiritual life in the sense that whatever your desire is, you have to literally meditate on that desire day and night. And it has to be strong enough to force you to act in obedience. And so really the key to actually living more and breaking that cycle is developing that desire and actually meditating on what you want. If what you desire is not strong enough, and the only way it can become strong is if you meditate on it, you imagine what that outcome is going to be like. If you don't do that, you're not going to be able to overcome. Because it's like, okay, as a guy, it's so funny. Like, as a guy, it's like when you say, nah, bro, I want to be good, I want to be holy, I want to be righteous, I want to live right, that's when all the temptations usually start coming the hardest. And what I've discovered, just like how you apply it to sports and everything, is that when you focus on what you truly desire as a man, as a human being, everyone desires to be with somebody. You want to be close to someone. You want to have a relationship with someone. Everything else is a counterfeit, is a distraction from that true desire. It's instant gratification. It's going to make you feel good at the time, but after that, it's going to be gone, leaving you as empty as it found you. So if your desire is to truly be with someone, have that family, have a fulfilling relationship, and then something comes and tries to distract you from that, it ties back to how strong is your desire for that. If you've meditated and you've imagined and pictured that outcome that you're focusing on is better than the present instant gratification you're going to get, you're going to withstand and you're going to hold yourself and you're going to keep yourself in obedience. And I think that's what Cain was missing and trying to tie it back in the sense that Abel's goal was, my focus is I want to give God my best. And so, yeah, I can give him one of my sheep and just do that. But no, if my focus and my desire is on giving God my best, then my actions are going to have to show that. Cain was kind of nonchalant with that. So in the same way in your life, if you're like, okay, if this is the outcome that I want, and this is my focus, then this is what I have to do. And you look at someone like Jesus, for example, like the Bible says that because of the joy that was awaiting him, he withstood the cross. Like he went through the persecution, not because of himself, but he was thinking of us. He was thinking of what we would benefit in terms of salvation. And so the pain that he was going to go through was like this. Yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, I can relieve myself of all this stress right now, but what will happen to my children, like everyone else that's going to come after me? I'd have to do my Father's will. And so that's really what it comes down to, is how strong is your desire. The stronger your desire for a specific outcome, the easier it will be for you to develop obedience. And in order for you to develop a strong desire, you have to take the time to meditate. That morning and night is so important. It's something I started adding to my routine, is every morning you fellowship. And I noticed once I started doing it, I would say I'll just start 15 minutes. I started doing it. Sometimes I'm there for an hour. Why? That's how I was able to come up with what I wanted to talk about today. It was like not just reading and just breezing through it. It was like, what is this story saying and how does it apply to my life? Once you start applying it directly to your life, then you're starting to see the different areas in how, wow, this is teaching me something, like, and how I can practically apply it. And so I think that's what it comes down to. And I don't know if you have any.
So there was this post I saw. I've seen it a few times on Instagram. It says that the path to heaven feels like hell, but the path to hell feels like heaven.
Yeah.
Right. When I saw that, it makes sense, because the thing is, there's so many things you have to sacrifice in this world, right? Worldly goods, you have to sacrifice certain things, but it's so hard, because again, like the flesh, it's so hard to sacrifice those things that feel good for the things that feel like, damn, this sucks, right? Discipline. Discipline feels painful. It's a process that feels painful. Going to the gym, I'm not going to always just use the gym as an example, but that's something that relates to me. But going to the gym when I first started felt excruciating. It felt hard. Doing legs especially felt hard. I always try to find excuses to not go, but I had people around me who forced me to go. They forced me to come on those days I felt like giving up. on leg day, right? Just so I could hit everything else that felt good, like, oh, it felt good to hit this. But the legs are disciplined. That's why you see a lot of people who hate leg days, right? They make content about it. But that's one of the more painful areas to hit. But once you do it and you consistently do it, it becomes a routine and becomes a habit. Discipline is something that's really hard for many people in this world. We can all relate with that. And it's really tough, right? Yeah. But the thing is, it's not impossible. It's just hard, because giving up things that you found pleasurable, right? Your favorite foods, for example. Like, who doesn't like fast food sometimes? Who doesn't like something like a greasy burger? Who doesn't like those things? Like, some people might say they don't, but the thing is, the people who do like those things, it's hard for them to cut it off. People who are heavier in weight or trying to eat healthier, they want to cut those things off, but it's so hard because it's so pleasurable, right? That little bit of dopamine, but the moment you eat it, right? It's like eating the apple from the Garden of Eve, Garden of Eve, right? Eating the apple, it tasted good, but it's like a sin. It's a sin. Yeah. You ate this apple, and then look what happened. The moment you eat that burger, it's fine to do it here and there. Yeah. But the moment you eat that burger, you feel like crap.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we say like discipline is hard until I can't remember who I got this like revelation from. It was like, it was when I was reading, as I'm reading the Bible and I'm looking at the story of Abraham, Noah, Enoch, all these guys that were not perfect. Like, I'm not like all the things we were talking about in terms of wanting to be lazy or not wanting to give your best. The same way, you're always gonna wake up facing those things. But one thing I learned is that you actually don't know how much harder you're making your life by not being disciplined until you start being disciplined. Once you start seeing the benefits of doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do, then you're like, bro, why was I even, like, you were making your life way harder than it needed to be, right? And so that's something that I'm just like noticing, and you don't even know what you're protecting yourself from by maintaining that discipline and the things you're supposed to do. It's crazy.
To that point, I was gonna say, there's people who, like millionaires, people who have made thousands of dollars, people who say, oh, $10,000 a month, right? They make $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month. Those people who do that, when they get to that point, they say it's actually a lot easier than you think. Yes. Because the thing is, they built that discipline. They found what it took to get to that point. And when they tell you it's not hard at all, it's just discipline. The moment you make that first 100K, right? Or that first 10K, you're like, oh, dang.
That's it. It's like, that was it. Because now you know the principles, and all you need to do is just repeat the same thing. That's just like, and that's just what it is. It's just a click, and it's like once you go, once you taste it, you can't go back. Like, once you're aware of what it is, you cannot go back. So it's also like changing your language and not saying, oh, like, I listen to guys like Myron Golden, Omar, like I've been showing you their content. It's like, bro, they change their language around stuff. It's like Myron would say, like, most people say making 10K is hard. It's not hard. You're just not aware of how easy it is. So you don't have an abundance issue. You have an awareness issue. Once you're aware of how to do it, it's just a matter of repeating the application. And that's really what it is. So I hope this video helped someone. I hope this encouraged someone. I don't know what my next episode is going to be, but I hope you guys found value in this video. And if you did, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.